A young black man entered into a marriage with an older millionaire woman, driven by her wealth, but he never anticipated that she would. Eleanor Sestage was far from an ordinary septuagenarian. With her piercing azure eyes and a cascade of silver hair that flowed down her back, she exuded the elegance and poise of someone who had traversed the globe and gathered countless stories along the way. A self-made millionaire, Eleanor had forged her empire through sheer determination, grit, and exceptional business savvy. Her expansive mansion was adorned with antiques, each piece steeped in history, while her wardrobe featured luxury brands that most could only dream of owning. Yet, despite her immense wealth and lavish lifestyle, a deep sense of solitude enveloped her like a shroud. Every weekend, Eleanor would explore various art galleries, immersing herself in creativity and finding solace in the works of artists from different periods. It was during one of these visits to a charming downtown gallery that her life took an unforeseen turn. The gallery was showcasing modern art with bold strokes and vibrant colors that captured the chaos and beauty of contemporary existence. As she examined a particularly captivating piece, Eleanor sensed a presence beside her. Turning, she was greeted by a radiant smile and sparkling eyes. Alex, a man in his late 20s, stood there in a crisp white shirt and charcoal trousers, exuding an effortless charm and a genuine appreciation for art. He struck up a conversation about the artwork they were both admiring and his youthful enthusiasm. Discussing everything from the intricacies of brushwork to the emotions it evoked left Eleanor thoroughly impressed. With each encounter, their connection deepened. Alex's vibrant energy introduced a refreshing perspective into Eleanor's life. He shared tales of his adventures, the countries he had explored, and the dreams he held dear. His laughter was contagious, and soon enough, Eleanor found herself captivated by his charm. Whispers began to circulate among her friends and family. Skepticism about Alex's intentions was palpable in their hushed conversations. After all, the notion of a young man nearly 3 times her junior being genuinely interested in her seemed far-fetched, if not impossible. Many speculated that it was Eleanor's considerable fortune that truly attracted Alex. However, Eleanor, feeling a renewed vitality she hadn't experienced in years, brushed aside their concerns. In Alex, she saw a kindred spirit, a reflection of her younger self filled with ambition, passion, and a free spirit. For his part, Alex seemed genuinely captivated by Eleanor. He listened with rapt attention to stories of her struggles, her triumphs, and the lessons she had gleaned over the years. Their weekends were filled with visits to new places, shared meals, and laughter. Soon, Eleanor introduced Alex to the finer things in life: opera, tasting events, and luxurious parties. In return, Alex showed her the thrill of spontaneous road trips, late-night beach walks, and the joy of dancing under the stars. Months turned into a whirlwind romance, and before anyone could truly fathom the depth of their connection, wedding bells chimed. In a private ceremony, Eleanor and Alex exchanged vows, sealing their unlikely union. The event, attended by Eleanor's closest friends and relatives, was a bittersweet affair. While the joy of seeing Eleanor so lively and happy was palpable, the undercurrent of doubt about Alex's true motives remained. Yet, as Eleanor danced with Alex, the twinkle in her eyes was undeniable. At that moment, it didn't matter what the world thought or said. In the twilight of her life, Eleanor had found a love that made her heart sing. Whether it was genuine or not, time would reveal a different story. For now, Eleanor basked in the glow of her newfound happiness. Clara had known Eleanor for over 4 decades. They had been through everything together: the highs of success, the lows of heartbreak, and the countless challenges in between. Eleanor's recent marriage to Alex had always troubled Clara. The age difference, the haste, and Alex's too-perfect demeanor made Clara's protective instincts go into overdrive. Deciding to act upon her suspicions, she reached out to a discreet private investigator known for his impeccable track record. Days turned into weeks, and Clara waited with bated breath. The investigator, a wiry man named Richard, finally called her for a meeting at a quiet coffee shop. Richard slid a dossier across the table, cautioning Clara about its contents. As she flipped through the pages filled with photos and notes, the color drained from her face. The evidence was irrefutable. Alex had been leading a double life, simultaneously seeing younger women behind Eleanor's back. Armed with this information, Clara confronted Alex one evening at a bar he frequented. The dim lighting and muted jazz playing in the background contrasted sharply with the intensity of the confrontation. Clara's voice, The blow was fraught with anger. "How could you do this to Eleanor? She deserves better than your deceit," Clara exclaimed. Alex's laughter was cold and dismissive. "Eleanor is an old woman living in a fairy tale," he smirked, taking a sip of his drink. "I give her company, and she gives me a taste of the good life. It's a fair deal." Clara's threat that Eleanor would find out about his infidelities and the subsequent fallout seemed to barely faze him. He left the bar with a confident swagger, believing he had everything under control. But things began to shift. Whether it was his overconfidence or simple carelessness, Alex's behavior became increasingly erratic. He would disappear for hours without any explanation, and when questioned, his justifications were flimsy at best. He became glued to his phone, guarding it with a fierceness that was new to Eleanor. Whispers of his liaisons reached her ears, and one evening, Eleanor chanced upon a stray earring under their bed, a piece of jewelry she didn't own. The realization was like a punch to the gut. Eleanor had trusted Alex and opened her heart and home to him, and in return, he had betrayed her. But Eleanor was no knave damsel. She had faced adversity before, and this was just another challenge she had to confront. Determined to protect her assets and her dignity, she reached out to Samuel. Samuel, a gray-haired man with sharp eyes, had been Eleanor's lawyer for over 20 years. The two shared a bond of trust and mutual respect. As Eleanor narrated her story, Samuel's expression remained unreadable. However, the slight clenching of his fist was evident enough to show his fury on her behalf. "We'll handle this," Samuel assured Eleanor, outlining a strategy to secure her wealth and expose Alex for the fraud he was. Eleanor, fortified by Samuel's support, prepared herself for the battle ahead. The tale of a woman scorned is a powerful one, but the story of a woman betrayed who chooses resilience over despair and action over tears is even more potent. Eleanor was ready to reclaim her life with dignity and grace, proving that no betrayal could break her indomitable spirit. In the confines of Samuel's office, with its wooden paneling and shelves lined with law books, the two old friends brainstormed. The atmosphere was heavy with a mix of Eleanor's hurt and Samuel's burning desire for justice. Samuel, with his decades of experience, had contacts that spanned the city's upper echelons down to its shadowy alleys. They needed to be methodical, and they needed it to be thorough. First on the agenda was the evidence. Samuel got in touch with Richard, Clara's investigator, leveraging his resources and combining them with Samuel's own network. They began piecing together a damning portrait of Alex, nightclubs, hotels, and even weekend getaways. Every encounter was meticulously recorded. Samuel's connections in the tech world helped them access surveillance footage, while a few bribes ensured they had testimonies from some of Alex's liaisons. Every piece of evidence was duplicated and stored in secure locations. Eleanor, for her part, played the role of the unsuspecting wife to perfection. She draped herself in a facade of contentment, ensuring Alex remained oblivious. Their public outings were marked by Eleanor's radiant smiles. Even as her heart clenched at every secretive glance, Alex shot in another woman's direction. Throughout this, her evenings were spent in introspection. Eleanor's thoughts wandered to her early life, the years of hardship in the orphanage after being abandoned as a baby. The memories of cold nights, scarce meals, and the rare kindness of the staff made her the resilient woman she had become. That very orphanage had been the foundation of her strength and determination. In a moment of clarity, Eleanor made a decisive choice. She called Sam, and the two met at the orphanage, an aging structure with peeling paint but still housing the dreams and hopes of numerous children. Standing there, with the sounds of innocent laughter around them, Eleanor voiced her decision to bequeath her entire fortune to the institution. Samuel, ever the meticulous lawyer, began the process of revising her will. Every property, every piece of jewelry, and every last cent was redirected toward the betterment and upliftment of the orphanage. Eleanor felt a surge of warmth, knowing her hard-earned legacy would now pave the way for many bright futures. However, they weren't done. Samuel suggested a plan so audacious it took Eleanor's breath away, a posthumous revelation. They would host a grand event after Eleanor's time, under the guise of a will reading. Invitations would be sent to friends, family, and the cream of society. The evidence of Alex's treachery would be showcased for all to see, stripping him not just of Eleanor's fortune, but also of his facade of decency. The days turned into weeks, and the plan was set in motion. Every detail was checked and double-checked. Discreet rehearsals were held to ensure the eventual revelation would be seamless. The final piece of the plan was a heartfelt letter penned by Eleanor, expressing her gratitude to the orphanage and her hope for the future. The letter ended with a poignant note for Alex, highlighting the value of love, trust, and integrity. The strategy, while elaborate, was a reflection of Eleanor's spirit. It combined her desire to safeguard her legacy with her indomitable will to stand against deceit. In the face of betrayal, she chose strength, resilience, and a lasting impact, ensuring Alex's treachery would not just be exposed, but would be remembered for ages to come. The day dawned somber, mirroring the heavy hearts of the city's elite as they prepared to bid farewell to one of their most celebrated figures. Eleanor's passing had been sudden, leaving many in shock. Her mansion, which had witnessed countless grand events, was now the center of a melancholic gathering. Luxury cars lined the driveways as dignitaries, business moguls, and close friends arrived in their finest attire. The mansion's garden was transformed into a sea of white, with elegant chairs, canopies, and flowers everywhere. Soft, mournful melodies played in the background, adding to the gravity of the occasion. Amidst the crowd stood Alex, clad in a pristine black suit. He presented himself as the picture of a grieving husband, yet his eyes betrayed a different narrative. They flitted around the room, assessing the reactions of the attendees. He exchanged quiet words with a few, nodding solemnly and accepting their condolences. Beneath this facade, however, Alex was restless. He eagerly anticipated the reading of Eleanor's will, convinced that he was on the verge of becoming a very wealthy man. As the eulogies came to a close and attendees paid their final respects, Samuel approached the podium. A hush fell over the gathering, as many were aware of Samuel's close ties to Eleanor and were curious about the contents of her will. He began by sharing personal anecdotes from his long-standing relationship with Eleanor, vividly illustrating her grace, strength, and resilience. Then, taking a deep breath, he signaled the AV team. The projector whirred to life, illuminating a large screen behind him. What followed was a montage that left the audience in shock. Images of Alex with other women, clips from their clandestine meetings, and testimonies from these encounters were laid bare for all to see. The garden, once filled with soft whispers and quiet sobs, now reverberated with gasps of disbelief and murmurs of astonishment. Close-up shots captured the color drain from Alex's face, his confident facade crumbling with each damning piece of evidence. Once the montage concluded, Samuel, his expression resolute, began to read Eleanor's revised will. He spoke of her decision to bequeath her vast assets, her properties, her jewels, and even her beloved antiques to the very orphanage that had once been her home. With each word, Alex's dreams of wealth evaporated, leaving him in stunned silence. Samuel then produced an envelope containing Eleanor's personal note to Alex. Clearing his throat, he read aloud, "To Alex. In our moments of love, I saw hope, but your betrayal taught me a valuable lesson. True love is priceless. Learn to value it." The message was poignant, a blend of sorrow and admonition. As the ceremony concluded, many attendees shook their heads, discussing the shocking revelations in hushed tones. Alex, once brimming with confidence, now appeared defeated. He quickly made his exit, avoiding the gazes of the crowd. His dreams of a lavish future lay in ruins, his reputation shattered. Eleanor's funeral became a legend in high society, remembered not only as a farewell to a beloved figure, but also as a powerful lesson on the perils of greed. Eleanor's story was recounted time and again, a testament to the strength of a woman who, even in death, stood resolute against deceit, reinforcing the timeless belief that true love and integrity far surpass the allure of wealth. What do you think of this story? Let us know in the comments section. I hope you liked this story. Please give it a thumbs up and share it with your loved ones. Also subscribe and press the bell icon to never miss the update from our channel. Thank you.